All right, this is Obaid on behalf of V Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about production possibilities frontier. All right, now when it comes to production possibilities frontier, this has to do with allocation of resources. All right, so this is production possibilities frontier. Okay, this is frontier over here. Okay, this has to do with allocation of resources. And when we talk about allocation of resources, this could be division of labor, it could be division or allocation of raw materials, minerals, commodities, precious metals, so on and so forth. Okay, so say for example, you have country A, and I'm going to say this is CA. Country A produces both oil and corn. Okay, so let's say this is oil in barrels. And you have your corn in bushels. Okay, so your corn in bushels. Considering the concept of absolute advantage, let's say this country has absolute advantage when it comes to producing oil, as a result of which, with 100 workers or 1,000 workers in this case, okay, with 1,000 workers, this country is able to produce 200 barrels of oil. Whereas if you allocate this resource over here, which has to do with workers, if you allocate your workers towards producing corn, this country can only produce, okay, let's say 50 bushels of corn. It has an absolute advantage when it comes to producing oil, but it does not have an absolute advantage when it comes to producing corn. Whereas country B has an absolute advantage when it comes to producing corn. Okay, so say for example, country B can produce 200 bushels of corn, but only 50 barrels of oil with 1,000 workers. Okay, so as you move away, in this case, as you move away from 200 bushels of corn, as you allocate more workers and resources towards production of oil, you're producing less in terms of what you can produce, okay, in terms of value. Okay, let's say you're producing less when it comes to oil if you don't have an absolute advantage for oil, for production of oil. Over here, as the country moves away from oil production to corn production, which may be less valuable for that particular country, as a result of which, okay, the country is producing, okay, less in terms of total value. Okay, why? Because the absolute advantage is for production of oil. Okay, and you're leaving that absolute advantage and you're allocating resources towards something where you're not productive or efficient enough compared to the second country. So if you're not productive or efficient, obviously the revenue will be less, the production will be less, and the value of that production will be less. And this could be because of things like climate, environment. Okay, maybe you have a hot climate, hot, humid climate somewhere. Okay, whereas you have um, extreme winter conditions somewhere else. Okay, as a result of which they're not able to produce as much corn as they like. All right, so your production that goes down, your revenue that goes down, profit that goes down, sales that goes down, and this all has to do with allocation of resources on a production possibilities frontier. Your profit goes down as well. All right, so that would be it when it comes to production possibilities frontier. On behalf of B Electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.